for this week's What's Happening Now in Walt Disney World, we're going to do something a little different, but a little exciting. We've received our first listener email, and technically it's about Walt Disney World, so we're going to count it. We're going to say that it counts for what's happening now. So we'd love to hear from you guys, so please send in your questions. But today's email is from Kat Hall, our first listener email, so this is exciting. And she asks us, what is something that you always get on every trip? Mine is Dumbo. No matter how hard it's going to be to get on it, I always find the ride. I always find Dumbo. It means something more and has a deep meaning to me. What about you guys? So she's asking us on one of our Disney trips, anytime we go, is there something like an attraction that you get on that you just absolutely have to do? It's not a Disney trip unless you get on this attraction. So as always, I always go alphabetical, so I'll start with you, Ron. What is yours? Do you have an always gotta do, something that you gotta do every time you go to Disney World?
It's not necessarily a ride, and I'll give you a ride because I think that's the question, but the one thing that just blows me away every single time, maybe I say it this way: we have to go to Magic Kingdom. If we go to Disney, there will never be a time where Magic Kingdom is not part of that trip. We've gone where studios have not been part of the trip. We've gone when Animal Kingdom has not been part of the trip, but there will never be a Disney trip that we don't hit Magic Kingdom.
And that makes sense. I know some people, when they're planning a trip, not everybody always has an entire week or a 7-day trip that they can fit in everything. And, sometimes you got to make sacrifices. If you're only going 3 days, there's 4 parks, what are you going to do?
Right,
so,
exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense. Never, ever will Ron go to Walt Disney World and not go to Magic Kingdom. I'll say that I have been down there before when we didn't make it over to Magic Kingdom.
I literally, when you say that, I'm just like, that's not even a Disney trip.
Look, I love Magic Kingdom, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of a pain in the neck to get to. First of all, you got to park.
That's true, unless you catch the bus.
Yeah, you got to park 17 miles away.
I was going to say, but even the bus, you still have to get the ferry and the monorail to get over there. So you have to allot that time as well.
Resort buses, if you're taking a bus from the resort, it actually drops you off right by the right in front of the security checks at the train station, right up front. The resort buses do take you there. But
and I will say we've done that before, and to me it took some of the not all the not a big portion, but I like that you kind of have to take a trip to get to the park.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a pain in the neck. You gotta park, then you gotta ride the tram, then you gotta get on either the ferry or the monorail. So when we have been down there for a very short period of time, and remember, we go down there a lot and visit family. So a lot of our trips are kind of a mixture of seeing family, that kind of thing, but also, hey, since we're here, we should go to Disney. So sometimes it's, we might be there for 3 or 4 days and maybe only going to the parks for 2 of those days or something, because we might stay back at the, with the family. So it doesn't always we don't always get to Magic Kingdom, just because when we're, weighing the options, it's like, I don't know, it's going to take us an hour just to get through to get to the place, and then we got to go security. So sometimes we do skip it. But if we're going down there for a Disney trip, and I know that's what you're saying, Ron, then absolutely Magic Kingdom is, Magic Kingdom is Disney. It's the one that's most like Walt's Park in California and everything. So totally get that. What about you, Tony? Do you have a must do?
I do have a must do. It's kind of something I've kind of always tried to do all the time that I've been down there. But speaking on trying to get to the Magic Kingdom, I was lucky enough once in my life to be able to stay at one of the wings of the Contemporary Resort when it used to be there used to be before it became the members only thing. There used to be 2 wings there that cost a lot less than staying in the main building. And so I got lucky enough to actually, I stayed there maybe a couple of times because it wasn't very expensive at the time. And one of my pleasures was be able to walk to the Magic Kingdom. I mean, I remember waking up in the morning, everybody else was asleep, and I just literally just took the little path, walked over 5 minutes to the Magic Kingdom, rode as many things as I could, came back and got my family and went back out to do the thing again. But yeah, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
I wish it was like that all the time. But that reminds me of the must-do thing that I did do, which was when Star Tours reopened as the new version. I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to visit the park for about 3 or 4 years during that period. And so our family had gone down for a cruise, and we made a visit to Disney World Resort that night. We were going to go to the parks the next day. I was traveling with my in-laws. They wanted to see the Magic Kingdom because, Ron, like you said, you have to feel that. But I wanted to see Star Tours. So I still had an old ticket that I had left over. Our airport got us there a little bit later than expected, but it didn't matter to me. It was pouring rain. I was completely drenched, but we were staying at the boardwalk, and I said, MGM is just down that path, so I'll be back in a couple of hours. You all just stay here and rest. So I trotted over in the rain alongside that lake with the alligators in it, and made it to MGM Studios to see Star Tours, because that is one of my favorite stops that I make there. And now I was just saying to my wife that when we return in the future, it's going to be hard for me to just go to Disney and not want to spend my time at Galaxy's Edge. So I don't know what's going to happen now going forward, because I know she's not going to want to be there the whole day like I would. Star Tours is mine.
That's pretty good. And that's amazing. You love it so much that you spent a 1-day ticket on just a couple of hours at the end of the day.
It was that literally had 2 hours left before the park closed that night. And the lady at the ticket booth, I even tried to negotiate with them. I said, it's about to close. I'm only coming here. We're going on the cruise tomorrow, and I just wanted to see this. My family can't make it out today. And they didn't buy it. So, but they said, full price, sir. So I gave them my old ticket, and I used it. And I just went on the ride maybe 3 or 4 times, because I hadn't been on for about 4 years.
So I don't want to take a lot of time, but an interesting story about getting into the parks without a ticket. Our very first trip with our family, it's a long story why we didn't get to go back that same day, but it was the end of our trip, and there was a picture that I wanted to get, and you couldn't get the pictures online back then. And dude, I had to sign in blood that I would walk to the photo shop, get the photo, and come back. They were not playing about getting it, because we didn't go to Magic Kingdom. I forget what the actual reason I had to get back in there, but I didn't want to use a ticket, because at that point those tickets didn't expire. So I would have literally been spending whatever that ticket cost to go in and pick up something that I purchased from Disney. So they're not about letting people in for any reason without.
No, that's absolutely true. Even when I went and I said I wanted to do this, they actually had to go to the manager. They kind of questioned me, because it kind of seemed kind of odd. Some guy shows up by himself, in a raincoat, and just wants to go in and see Star Tours. They thought it was kind of weird. But and I had to keep saying, my family's at the resort. We're here. We're going on the cruise tomorrow.
All right. So my favorite, or I guess my must-do, I guess. If we're talking about I'm going to just talk about Magic Kingdom. Me, it's kind of a twofer. It's not a trip to Disney World, or at least to the Magic Kingdom, if I don't get on Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. Those two are classic Disney attractions. You can find basically at least one version of that in each of the parks, around the world. And it just, to me, that's quintessential Disney. And Walt had his hands on those attractions originally and stuff. So for me, it's those two. It's Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. Those two are just old school Disney, and I absolutely love them. So that would be my answer. So Kat, thanks for the email. We appreciate it. You have the the prestige and the honor of being our very first listener email. So we're excited.
All right, Kat, thank you.
That's
Awesome. So we're excited for that. Hopefully we answered your question to satisfaction. So thank you.
Do you have a must-do attraction? We'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and find us at WDW Reflections Podcast. See you real soon.